You smell what the Rock is cooking.
Acknowledge me.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
We are bad to the bone. Get it? Bad to the bone.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I'll fight anybody. Who do you want? Just let me fight him.
Let me tell you something, Jim Ross.
Mega power, yeah.
We got it for you.
We are the best of the best.
Woo! Wheeling dealing. Smart marks.
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Talk 'em Into the Building, and welcome to a podcast that talks about the promo. You know that's what we do. This is going to be a dusty review today, not a full episode. We're not going to be here for 2 or 3 hours. We're going to hit you guys with something quick. But first off, we got to wish you a happy new year. So, Adelaide, Adrian, Adelaide all the way over there in Los Angeles, California. Adrian here in the A. Happy New Year, fellas. How'd you ring in the new year, and did you have a good time? Adelaide, I come to you first. How was Los Angeles on a New Year's celebration?
It was probably beautiful weather. There was probably some people in town for some kind of game or some kind of event. Somebody from Nebraska was here with shorts and a tank top. But I myself, by having tamales or pozole and just enjoying the time, because it's that time of year for champurrado, if you know what's up.
Nice.
Amen.
Nice.
Amen.
Adrian, how'd you ring in the new year here in the A?
New Year's always with family, man. The past couple of years we've taken it pretty low key. I know in the past we would go out and that was always a big party night when we were in the city, but now that we're no longer in Midtown Atlanta, we're not going out like that. So we're just hanging out with the wife and maybe a couple neighbors, just hanging out and bringing in the new year.
I feel you.
What about yourself?
Hey, man, just, watching college football. I love bowl season. I know it's changed a lot over the past several years, especially with this new college football playoff, but I just love bowl season, and that's my big thing. Spending it with family, with the kids and stuff like that. That's always fun. I don't do anything crazy anymore. There was a time, but it's time to wind that part down. But I know one of the big things we talk about each and every year, the last couple of years, if you guys don't know, we have a huge archive, intothebuilding.com. Go check it out. We talk about our resolutions, and I know we've talked about in the past, we're going to go support more independent wrestling and things like that. But Adrian, I'm going to come to you first. Do you have any wrestling resolutions this next year?
Wrestling resolutions. I'll keep it simple, man. I think this is something that I have been keeping myself honest on, and that's recalibrating expectations for a lot of these companies. I know critique when it comes to WWE, AEW, and all of that stuff. It kind of seems overdrawn, in my opinion, when it comes to we're holding their feet to the flame for something that happened 2 years ago when they're actually trying to do something else. Or for the example of AEW, a lot of the critiques for AEW were things that happened 2 or 3 years ago where now they've actually made an effort to do something different. So my resolution is to actually recalibrate my expectations for all of these companies, because I think every one of them at least has the right to earn my viewership and my support. And I'm not going to just condemn them of the past sins per se for my support. I'm going to wipe the slate clean, say, what are we doing over here at AEW? I'm going to wipe the slate clean. What are we doing over here at Triple H? MLW, all of these companies, I'm going to give them all the opportunity to start off with a fresh slate, sell me some stories, sell me some gimmicks, and let's go from there so I can enjoy wrestling as much as I want to.
Nice. Adelaide, what about yourself?
I think I'm going to do a little script change. I will echo some of that. I think I'm going to be a little bit more selective about how I utilize my time, because you can spread yourself thin so much these days, right? And so many times, I mean, we've talked about it, where we're not catching the live shows because it's just hard, right? We got so many plates spinning over here. But I'll say this: if something does catch my eye, I might give it more than a week or two. I'll let it simmer, because a lot of the times with pro wrestling fans, and I'll include myself in this, we can be fickle, and we don't give time to let things simmer and play through. And we've been spoiled by things like the Bloodline storyline that was 2 years long and just had these mini episodes that felt leading up to this grand finale, right? I don't know if anybody has the wherewithal or the capability or the roster deep enough to do something like that. But I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for, give me some intriguing story. Don't insult my intelligence. That's going to be key number one. As a rule for wrestling companies, don't insult my intelligence. And I'm probably going to buy a ticket to your next show, because I still go to AEW. I still go to GCW shows here and there. I still go to independent shows. And I mean, being in LA, it's like they're going to come sooner or later, right?
Right.
All you have to do is just make it easy for me to digest. And now that AMC is going to be taking over TNA, I mean, there's so many avenues that I want to see, but I'll be honest, they're competing. I hate to sound like Triple H now, but they're competing with regular shows that aren't wrestling, and that might win sometimes. So anyway, for me, is give me something to sink my teeth into, so I don't just catch it on the fly on a clip.
Nice. I like that. I like both of those. I mean, there's so much content out there now. It's just hard. And I mean, for me personally, I've always been a fan. Like, I grew up watching the studio shows, and I grew up watching that true talk 'em into the building. And I see myself now fast forwarding through Raw, through the matches, to watch the talking segments. I know that's sacrilegious to a lot of people, but at the end of the day, I want to be talked into the PLEs. I want to be talked into the pay-per-views for AEW. I want to be. That's what I want, right? I don't have time to watch 10 hours of wrestling every single week,
Right.
but I want to keep up with things. And so I'm gonna do a better job of keeping up with AEW. I don't do a good job with that. I have an idea what's going on, but I don't watch enough of it. But they've done a lot of great stuff over the last couple of years. And to your point, Adrian, we hold a lot of the past sins against them. And I'll give credit. I have to look back on 2025. Tony Khan has done a much better job of toning down his whininess.
Oh, his Twitter fingers.
And so I think that's helped me personally, right? I get tired of it.
Yeah.
I was the same way when Vince did it back in the day with WCW. When Vince was like, "Oh, woe is me," and billionaire Ted and all that. I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, you it's like, seriously? It's like, come on, man. But they all want to play that underdog role. But I get it, right? I think one of my resolutions still try to go to more independent shows. I went to several this past year. And I like going to the smaller ones. I think that's the fun part. There's some here in Buckhead, Georgia, the GCW in Buckhead, Georgia, and not Buckhead, Atlanta, but Buckhead, Georgia. They've run a nice quality show, probably anywhere from 100 to 200 fans every single time. OSWA in Cornelia, a few of these smaller organizations. I think they're fun to go to and kind of see those crowds and see the kids get into it and try to look at it through the kids' eyes when I go to these independent shows. Not watch the match per se to say, oh, is it a 5-star match or is it a 4-star match? And was there a botch?
Right.
And when you watch it through one of those kids' eyes, it doesn't matter how good that match was. If that kid was excited, dude, that's the most fun to me.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it far too often we lose sight of what made wrestling fun for us growing up. What made wrestling this lifelong addiction. Like, we kind of lose the plot. We lose the plot as wrestling fans, especially those of us that have been around through Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression or the ECWA, all of that stuff. We grow pretty spoiled in a sense, and we just poo-poo on what these guys are doing now, when kids are watching what's going on now and they're just losing their minds. Man, they're losing their minds.
It's funny, and I'm gonna use a movie reference that I heard somebody talk about Star Wars. As we all know, there's 9 main movies, right? And we may have had the original trilogy, episodes 4, 5, and 6, and that was our Star Wars. And then
Right.
you'll see that
Yeah.
generation
Yeah.
go, oh, 1, 2, and 3 are suck. And then the people who grew up on 1, 2, or 3 are like, 7, 8, 9 were horrible. Well,
Right.
1, 2, and 3 was another generation's Star Wars. And then 7, 8, 9 was another generation's Star Wars. So it's kind of like, wait a second. It's 3 different, nobody's wrong. They're all
Right.
3. If you look at them in their own little universes, as 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, they're all good in their own ways to a specific generation. And that's what wrestling is. We look back on what we enjoyed during our childhood or what wrapped us into it, and then what wrapped us into it again, because so many of us fall out of it, whether we fall out totally or we watch it as a fringe and then we get sucked back in. And that's what has happened today. There's so many things that have sucked. So many, you hear it, celebrities and casual fans, and they were fans of the Attitude Era, or some were fans of, the Hogan era, the Golden Era, or the New Generation era with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, and then they get sucked back in. I think that's what's cool, is you still have that nostalgia, but today's product does truly give you, more so than I think any time, something for everybody.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So thinking about something for everybody, I like to go back in the past, and I know we're doing a Dusty review, and I'm not even giving context. I know this is something we did with a Dusty review where Adrian brought one recently from Ring of Honor. No context, no nothing. That's what I'm about to bring to you. But I wanted to pay tribute to the Stickman here. I know we're sitting here right after the first of the year, but just a couple months ago, we lost Bob Caudle. And if you don't know who Bob Caudle was, he was the voice of NWA of Mid-Atlantic. Jim Crockett Promotions, a lot of Georgia Championship Wrestling a little bit too, but in that WCW area before WCW, like before when WCW was the name of the TV show. And Bob Caudle, you had him, you had Gordon Soley, you had Lance Russell up in Memphis. You had this group of announcers and stickmen that were just priceless. And so I want to take us to Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, where it's a promotion, it's a promo. Dick Slater is talking. We just want to talk about it as a whole, but hosted by Bob. And I just think he's one of those ones that, man, he should be. I don't know if he's in WWE Hall of Fame or not, but he should be. He should be in everybody's Hall of Fame. He had that Lance Russell, oh man, what are you talking about type of vibe to him. Didn't mind calling people out, a little bit of that Mean Gene in him, that kind of stuff. So for all you guys who don't know who this is, think of a Mean Gene type. We don't have that today. We truly don't have that stick person any longer. They just kind of stand there and hold it.
Right here now back at ringside, United States heavyweight champion, United States heavyweight champion, the ex-Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion, the ex-TV champion. I lost out on the technicality, but I plan on getting that back too. I'm thinking about giving this belt right here. No, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the TV title, and I'm going to give it to somebody that deserves it. Somebody like Ernie Ladd. Ernie Ladd can win it himself. I'll give it to somebody that's worthy of the belt.
This is after you win that tournament. So you're
but right here, everybody in the country is passing these out. It says Dick Slater, World's Heavyweight Champion. On Wednesday, July 4th, in Spartanburg, South Carolina, I held Ric Flair's shoulders down the mat for the count of 3. Therefore, I consider myself the world's heavyweight champion, and so does everybody else.
The NWA does not recognize that.
The NWA recognizes me as the world's heavyweight champion. I'd like to show you right here. I brought this film right here. I want to show you this. I want to show you where I pinned Ric Flair's mat to the back, to the mat. 1, 2, 3. Look at this right here. Ric Flair just laying around there. I went ahead, dropped an elbow on him right there and covered Ric Flair.
What about Bob Orton? What about Bob Orton holding his foot?
I am the world's heavyweight champion, the United States. Run that back by. I want to see the people looking at it again. I want to run it back about 4 or 5 times so all the people can see it. Get the women out of the kitchen. Come back in here, and I want you to see.
All right, here it is again now.
Right there, okay. Boom, there you go. Ric Flair's down. Ric Flair's down. Now watch this. Boom, dropped an elbow on him. Look at that. Look at the referee. 1, 2, 3. The world's heavyweight champion right there, Dick Slater. Plus United States heavyweight champion. I will take on anybody at any time for any one of my titles. But I would like to go ahead and make sure that all the fans out there, other people that support me as World's Heavyweight Champion, take these and pass these around. They'll be in every city that I go into. They'll be every place I go. And I am sure that the people respect me as being World's Heavyweight Champion. And I am sure they respect me as being United States Heavyweight Champion. And I will take the TV title belt. And I'm sure they'll respect me for being that. But see, I'm not trying to be a little bit hoggish, am I?
not much.
No.
Not much.
No. Well, I deserve it. I deserve everything I get because I'm one heck of an athlete. And I don't drink and I don't smoke. And I go to church. And I'm going to tell you right now, if guys like Mark Youngblood, Wahoo McDaniels, Greg Valentine, and even Ric Flair comes back after the World's Heavyweight Championship, I am myself used to taking things from people. Nobody takes nothing from me, other than I will go ahead and pass these out. Thank you very much.
All right, fans, there it is from Dick Slater right here, and we'll be back right after we take
totally different. I mean, just think about Bob Caudle right there. I mean, it's out of lead. I don't know if you know much about Bob Caudle at all, or even Dick Slater. But what did you think? I just want to camp out on Bob himself, just the stick man. What did you think about how he handled that interview?
No, it was cool to see him in action. And again, we always compare, different stick men with generations and what they're capable of. But to me, that sign of a good stick man is staying out of the way, right? Mm-hmm. Making the pro wrestler, making the star really the theme. I hate when the interviewer is making it more about themselves, trying to get a catchphrase over or whatnot. And here he's giving them that interplay. He's giving them the opportunity, and you can tell Dick stumbles a little bit, right? There's a couple of spots where he's maybe thinking for a second or two extra, but he gets back his train of thought. But he's giving him that space to follow up, to say like, okay, why is this happening? And even to the point where I thought this one was cool, where play the clip back. Tell the people in the back to play that clip back. And he's like, no, hold on, whoa. It was like we need to maintain order type of thing situation. But I thought it was interesting to see throwback here, because it is NWA, but it's TV, right? And I dare say it's like TV back then maybe had less of a chance for edits, because it might have been live to tape, and what went out is what went out, right? Or if it was going to be an edit, it was not going to be a cheap edit, right? So it's interesting, because as a stickman, it's almost like you're putting all your trust as a director or as a production, and that you are going to do right by the production by maintaining order in the wrestler. But I know you want me to focus on the stickman, so I don't know if you want me to talk about Dick as well at this point.
I'm gonna come back to you on Dick.
Cool.
Yeah. So, Adrian, what do you think about Bob?
Mm-hmm. Well, he played the part well, man. Like, he played the straight man, and obviously there were some spots where Dirty Dick or Dick Slater was being kind of delusional. And Bob handled that well. Like, he didn't just call him out, or like Adelie said, made a character of himself. He was like, oh yeah, I guess. Like, that sort of back and forth that is like, yeah, I don't agree with you, but I'm gonna let you get your opinion off, or get your thoughts off, and all of that. But he played the role like a true pro, and I mean, it was fun. He had his fun in little spots, and he was the right vehicle for in that promo or that segment or whatnot.
I think it was cool about him, and it's all the great stickmen. He comes off genuine, and while he didn't make it about himself, he did interrupt him. I said, "What about Bob Orton? What about Bob Orton?"
Yes.
Or he threw in there, NWA doesn't recognize you as champion. Oh yeah, they do. And it's kind of like those little digs. And if you think about it, that was what Gene did, or what Gordon Soley did. These guys did. They threw these little pieces in there, but still didn't make it about themselves. But it kind of, as a fan, is what you're thinking and what you would want to say. You're like, you're not the champion. Right. Wait, I see Bob Orton holding his foot, and he's calling him out. right? Whereas today
Mhm.
it's kind of like the people just ask a question and stand back and don't say nothing.
They just stand there.
Yeah, and I think that's what and it's also the right balance. It's not being the main course. It's not even being an appetizer. It's not even being a side dish. It's like the garnish. It's like just the little pieces on that plate. That is where I think that's the art of it. And then that wrap up at the end. I mean, it's just perfect because the other part, not setting this up for you guys, there is an NWA TV title tournament about to happen. So you see Slater talk about, I'm going to become the champion. Caudle's the one who brought in the tournament. He's the one that kind of mentioned about the tournament. So it's kind of that type of thing where the best stickmen in the business kept those continuity going because there may have been some other extracurricular activities happening, some libations maybe that may help some talent lose focus.
Keep the train on the rails, man. Keep it on
Right.
the rails.
So
let's get to the next station. You know.
So out of lead, I'm gonna come back to you with the whole promo as a whole. Go ahead and critique it, but at the end of what you're gonna say here, give us how many Dusties do you rate Mr. Dirty Dick Slater in this claim to be the world champion?
I don't know if it's because like I was a little bit he was endearing. I don't know what else to say about him. Like it was flawed. And there's moments that he probably was like thinking about that next line or that next set of. I think when he was going to say all those names, he's like, I mean, not forget this one. You know, he kind of paused a little bit more. But it was very endearing because here he even has his pamphlets or leaflets. He's gonna go, paper the town and say like, no, I am the champion. I promise you, and play the clip again. So he's making a case for himself, which I think is kind of cute actually in a way. But here's this big dude, and he's very, for me, not knowing much about, I've heard the name before, obviously, but not knowing much about contextually, like what it is. Obviously, we know Ric Flair because he is just the name, right? But it's always fun to think about this era of wrestling because there was a cast of characters. There were, if I think of this as a production, as a theater production, because really wrestling is at its heart, it ends up being that. Is like you need a supporting cast. You need people that are going to be day in, day out, and are going to fill in those roles. And for me, he was a good character bit here because I got enough to know that he's delusional. I got enough to know that he's also huge, right? He towers over the stickman here. But this direction he's going to is almost fun because it's almost like he's like, all right, guys, I'm off to go give these flyers out because I'm going to convince everyone that I am the champion. So from that point of view, Dusty wise, man, maybe I'm being generous tonight, but I'm going to give it 4 Dusties because I would watch the next show. Definitely. Solely based on this interaction.
Yeah.
Awesome. Adrian, Dusty review on it.
Yeah, like out of lead, it definitely talked me into the building in the sense of I wanted to see more of it. I'm glad that Bob did mention the tournament because that's more reason or more motivation for me, the viewer, to be able to watch next week or to attend the next show and all of that, especially after you name guys like Wahoo and all of them. Like, I'm assuming they were participants in this tournament. So, like, those were some heavy hitters in there. So, behind Dick Slater's character and him being such a delusional heel, showing footage where he's clearly cheating, but in his mind, hey, y'all didn't see what you just saw. I'm the champ. Like, I love that kind of character stuff. And Bob being the straight man, yeah, I got to give it 4 Dusties. Like, that was legit. That was, if you're trying to teach someone what should be a promo and the whole point of a promo, that's right there. It's right there in front of you.
Yep. One of the best things we talked about, and these are heels and villains as a whole, they always believe they're right. And in this case, he's like, I'm the NWA champion. Bob Caudle's like, no, you're not. Yeah, I am. I'm the champion. I just pinned him. But what about Orton? He doesn't even acknowledge it. Like, it's the whole, like, what do you mean? Like, it's just not, he just doesn't even acknowledge it. And that's what I love about this heel work because even watching it contextually, right? And all you guys out there watching it with us, probably like, oh, he's probably the face because Flair was always the heel. Well, not at this point. And he's the heel, but what else does he talk about? I also don't drink. I don't smoke. I go to church. I'm better than you should be with me. I'm the NWA champion. I didn't cheat, and I go to church and all this other stuff. And you're like, delusion, like you said, 100% delusion. There's context to that would actually, if you took that same promo, polish it up a little today, and put it with the Miz, or put it with some of these guys, or MJF, or somebody who's a good heel promo, dude. Like they could totally just be like, what do you mean? I don't even know what you're talking about. Like it's just that's what I liked about it. And the other thing I love about it is it's not polished. It's kind of endearing to your point, Adeli, when you said that. It's like he's a regular dude talking, and you're gonna stumble. You're gonna like at one point he looks down, almost like he forgets what champion he is. Oh yeah, I'm a U.S. champion. And also back then the U.S. champion was the number one contender. It wasn't a secondary belt. He was the number one contender. So I mean, for me, I was probably about a 3.75 Dusties for Slater. But when you look at the whole thing with Caudle and everything, probably about 4 to 4.5 Dusties for me, because it is a great package, and it does, for me, talk me into the building. It makes me go from a true, if I really disconnect myself from as a wrestling fan and put myself in that time capsule, I'd be like, this dude's lost his freaking brain.
Right.
And I need to see him get beat up, or what? Where are we going to go with it? Because here's the other part. They left the mystery there of what's the NWA going to do about this belt. Like he's claiming to be the champion. So I mean, hopefully you guys enjoyed having this type of a Dusty review. We've never done a Dusty review of an old promo like that. So
right. Nah, that was a good one, man. That was a good one, and I'm glad you brought that.
But yeah, and I think the other thing is it does show us what a good stickman is and what we're missing today. And not just to say that we have to have them, because it's just different. It's evolved. This is a quick 3-4 minute promo. Now today we have 20-minute promos, and that's okay. The business evolves, but it's fun to go back to me and go look at this and to hear the names: Ernie Ladd, Greg Valentine, Wahoo McDaniel, Mark Youngblood. These dudes. That's man. It's just the history of where we came from to where we are, and the next generation is going to look back at some point and go, the Cody Rhodes and the Roman Reigns and the John Cena's and the Stone Colds and all these other people throughout history. And I think that's what's fun about going back and looking at it, because while there's nothing new in wrestling, it's all just has, as Bruce calls it, new coats of paint, or new paint's a coat, or whatever it is. So yeah, but thank you guys for checking us out today on the Dusty review. Pretty much across the board, we're right around 4 Dusties. That's pretty strong. Keep in mind, when we rate these, it's in a vacuum. We're not comparing it to others. We're not sitting there going, oh, that was a 4 and then that's a 4, so they have to be the same. No, it's all about in a vacuum as to what it is. Let us know your thoughts. What did you think about this one? I mean, do you like seeing something from the past like that? Tell us what you think about the Stickman. Do you miss them? Do you want them to come back? I think they will come back at some point. But also like, subscribe, share. You know the drill. You do it with everybody else. It does help our algorithms. But thank you guys for tuning in. Happy New Year to you. Have a great year this year, whether you're, Royal Rumble's coming up, and then we got all the AEW's doing well this year. I mean, I'm praying for them to keep going forward with all this whole talk about what's going to happen with WBD. Don't matter right now. They're locked in for the next couple of years, and they keep going down the path they're going down now. Hey, y'all ain't got to stress. We're going to be just fine. AMC with TNA, the more we can get these wrestling shows on different TV platforms or streaming platforms, the better. Don't forget about NWA on Roku channel. They're doing some things over there too. So, hey, I had to tie in the NWA. We just watched the old NWA. Had to come brand new. But thank you guys for watching. This is Talk 'em into the building for Adeli, for Adrian. Y'all, we'll see you on the flip side.
You don't know what hard times are